said, let me cater to you. I said, cater to me. She said, just relax and let me get it in. No, no, no. She said, take it easy, I will do the work. You don't have to.
This is like my 4th video. I still ain't come up with an intro yet. But hey, y'all. Hello. Wagwan on dinner. We there. Okay, whatever. So, that's chaotic as fuck. So, my name is Catastrophic.
No, you ain't.
My name is Tosh, otherwise known as Catastrophic. Here to tell you a story time. As you see by the title, this was probably the worst day ever for me. So, obviously I'm gonna give you background and then we're gonna get into the story. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like and thumbs up. That's the same thing. Comment, share with a friend, share with your grandmother, share with your grandmother's friend. I want you to share the video if you're not getting what I'm saying. Okay, cool. So anyways, I was actually watching this channel. There's this girl, her name is Moya Slay. She's a Jamaican influencer.
I'm a pretty, I'm a nice, I'm a lovely, I'm a pretty. The reflex, I'm a real bitch, that's the real flex.
On YouTube, and I happen to watch her. I think she's really funny and cool or whatever. And so it's in her recent video. So, you know, like today's like the someday in May. It's her recent video. It's titled something like she gets into a car crash or whatever. And so in the video, she was just like experiencing a series of bad events. So that's kind of like the catalyst of this story, because I swear, y'all, this day is like almost to the T, like the worst day ever. So that's why I'm going to talk about it. This was when I was in college. This was when I was in my community college. If I look sweaty, I am. It's because the fan's off. This is when I was in my community college. I love my community college, and I don't know why people try to downplay community college. It's just as hard as university, and you save more money. So do consider going to a community college, or a state college as you call them, or whatever. I was texting this boy who I have a lot of stories and I will call him Night Rider. I'm gonna call him Night Rider because like literally most of the times that we met up was at nighttime. And this was for years. So me and Night Rider, like I said, we've known each other for years, so we have been talking for years. So I've been talking to Night Rider for years. I text him. He pisses me off sometimes. Oh, I shouldn't cuss. He used to tick me off a lot, but at the end of the day, you know, like I always went back to him, and we used to talk or whatever. So Night Rider messaged me one night, as he usually do, and like, y'all, I had a story before where I said like I was a bad kid. Like I used to sneak out a lot, and so I kind of carried this habit well into adulthood when I didn't have to. At the time, I was like 18. I didn't have to sneak out the house at the time, and I still like would not necessarily sneak at this time because I actually went through the front door, but I would leave like out the house at the middle of the night when it's like I could have kind of let my parents know like what I was doing. It's kind of dangerous for a young lady to be just like walking out of her house at nighttime to go, you know, meet up with men. So I went outside. He messaged me. He pulled up to the house, which is a common thing he'd do. He'll pull up. He'll text me before and be like, pull up. And I'll be like, yeah, or I'll say no. So like, I messaged him and say, yeah, I didn't hear from this dude. He messaged me pull up at like 10 p.m. I didn't hear from him from 10 p.m. till like I said, around this time, like probably like 1 or 12 o'clock. You do the math. 2.5 hours or whatever. So if I'm expecting you, you're telling me pull up at that time. You'll usually come like 10 minutes after you pull up because you live near me. And you didn't come. You live right in the same neighborhood that I do. You didn't come. Like, I'm gonna be mad. I almost went to sleep. So you text me. I ignored the text. You call me again and you said, stop playing, man. I'm outside. Who's playing? I'm not playing. It seems more like you're playing because you're telling me that you were supposed to meet up with me, whatever. Y'all get it, y'all. I was just upset. I'm like, okay, whatever, sure. So he was like, he called my phone and he rang my phone twice, and he was like, bro, at this time I did not believe in putting my phone on do not disturb. Now, y'all, my phone be on silent and shit. So I put my phone was on do not disturb. He called me, rang my phone a couple times, and he was like, bro, come outside. I'm outside. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I ended up coming outside. He was there. I went outside, walked outside. Y'all, was he there? No, he wasn't, because he loved fucking playing games. Summer Walker ass bitch. Like, this boy, I swear, he played games like, I don't know what. I walked out there, and he wasn't out there. So I was reasonably upset. I turned around and walked inside. I walked right back inside, locked my door, and turned my alarm on and went into my room. He called my phone and he said, bro, I know you see my headlamps. Stop playing. My headlights, stop playing. Like, come back outside. Bro, I'm not coming back outside. You're playing games at this point. And I don't know why you think that's looking funny. Also, y'all, not too much on makeup. I don't know how to do makeup. And I just remember that I had it on. And so I'm like, I don't know. It was just something that I'm trying. So I'm not really like a makeup, I'm not really a makeup like fanatic. I'm trying to learn how to do makeup really well because, you know, I'm going to be y'all's future makeup artist. So I got to do my makeup and practice on myself first before I do beat y'all face up to the gods. So, and I don't know how to put on eyelashes. So, like, I mean, the makeup is okay. It's not the worst I've seen. It's not the best. Okay, so anyways, like, he was like, bro, I know you see my headlights. Just come back outside. I told him, no, I'm not coming outside. I was like, forget you. And he was like, bro, you're like acting up. Like, stop doing that. You always do that. You always get, you know, like emotional. I was just playing with you. I can't play with you. Dang. And then he used to do this thing where he used to go into a ramp where he was like, man, Nick can't play with his bit no more and blah, 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 blah. First off, me and you are not together. You made it very clear that you don't want to be with me, and I didn't really want to be with you because at the time I was getting men's. I was going through men's. And when I say going through doesn't mean I was doing the do with them. I was literally just like talking to a lot of different dudes. I had a nice little rotation at this time. Okay, cool. So then after that, I told him, I said, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you, blah, 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 blah. I blocked him. Okay, cool. Not like blocked him, but I turned the phone on mute and I like said, I'm not talking to you. And so obviously he was in his feelings about that, but we'll get back to him later. So anyways, y'all, another reason why I feel like I was so agitated at this time was because I was in a public speaking class and we had another presentation early in the morning. I had that class. I did all my classes early in the morning, which is like another thing because my friends used to say they did not know I was going to class. They're like, how did you graduate with honors? And I was like, I went to class and did my homework. And they were like, but when? Because you were literally always with us. But that's besides the point. So anyways, I knew I had this like public speaking thing, and like I don't have a problem with public speaking. Like I get a little nervous, but like I could get through it. I'm not like a wreck like some people are. And the topic that like it was more like you know how they have like different topics where they have like political or they have like fiction or whatever. The topic wasn't something that I necessarily hated, but it wasn't really something that I fancied. So I already figured that I was gonna have a little bit of problems like trying to do it or whatever. So I like put out my outline and did everything, did my slideshow or whatever. I just still didn't want to do it because I just felt like, you know, when you have a feeling like shit's gonna go bad. That's what I had. I had a feeling that it just wasn't gonna go good. And so I feel like that's the next thing. Like y'all can't be thinking bad over your life because then bad's gonna really happen for real. Like I think that's like a tale as old as time. Like you can't think bad over your life constantly. So I just already felt like it was gonna go wrong. So I went up in there, y'all, all stuttering over words, not completely. That was the worst grade. Like, y'all, like I said, I graduated with honors. I'm an A girl. I was an A girl. And literally, like that day when she graded our stuff in class based off of the rubric, that was the lowest grade that I got, especially in, guys, I'm sorry if anything looks like different. I kind of have like a little like phone overheating issue, so I'm gonna try to get through this as quick as possible. Anyways, so like I said, that was like the lowest grade that I ever got. And so another thing that I forgot to mention is that previously, before that, when I was like driving to school, my house is right nearby school. And so when I was driving to school, this dude almost ran me off the freaking road. And so I was like, that put me in like a worse mood. And that was why when I was doing my presentation, like I was out of the game. Like I just wasn't performing properly, you know, like some dudes. So I literally was like, I walked out of the presentation feeling like dejected or whatever. And so then I remembered that, okay, I kind of got a little happy because, like I said, my friends are always like, girl, how are you always like here, like in class or whatever? Not in class. What the fuck? What am I talking about? Slow down, bro. Why are you always like here? Like, cause I always had early classes, so I go into my early classes, and then for the rest of the day we would hang out in like our school center or whatever. And so I'm walking to the school center, and then the next bad thing happens. they're walking to the school center, and I'm coming downstairs from my class because my class was on the second floor. Y'all, I literally like trip a little bit and like skip a couple stairs, but I was still upright, landed, and my slippers freaking hit the end of one step and tore open. Like, it broke. I was tight, y'all. I was messed up. Luckily, I'm like so happy that I kept a pair of slides in my car. So I literally had to leave, which it wasn't too bad because parking lot is near to that building. So I just went and go change my shoes or whatever. But like, dang, how much could a girl go through? Her niggas being weird. Her nigga that's not her niggas being weird. She's freaking like tripping on air. She's feeling presentations. And it's not even like freaking 9 o'clock yet, y'all. It's literally not even like 9 o'clock yet. When I say I had early classes, I had early classes. I changed the shoes, went to our school center or whatever, and our school center was like quite tight, and I have a lot of stories about it. It was big. We had pool tables, we had TVs where we used to play trap music on. We used to play Nipsey Hussle. They had a back room where we used to be able to go into our back room until we got kicked out of the back room. That was a funny story. We got kicked out of the back room. Like, we used to get down, like, to get down in our little school center or whatever. And so I'm here walking up to the school center, and it's like a big glass door so you can see directly through it. And I started slowing down when I was walking towards it because I was like, why it look like this? I was wondering why the school center looked like this. It looked very scarce. And by scarce, it was hardly nobody that I knew in there, which I'm a friendly person. I know a lot of people, but like, I know that's not how the center is supposed to look. It's supposed to be a whole bunch of, we supposed to be jumping. We supposed to listen to trap music. We supposed to flirt with one another. So anyways, I ended up, opening up the glass doors, walking in there, which, oh y'all, by the way, that center used to be so cold. They couldn't control the AC, so whatever the temperature was outside, like, it would literally be that. So it'd be either really hot or kind of cool, or and like super cold. Anyways, walked in, didn't see any of my friends, and I was like, okay, that's a little weird. Anyways, I was like, maybe they're in like a different place. So I texted one of my homegirls, which is one of the girls that I was meeting up with. Will she need a name? No, she's not gonna need a name because she's not gonna be really in this story. So I just texted her and I was like, hey, where are you? She's like, oh, I'm not coming to school today. We're like, me and such aren't coming to school today. We're sick. That's her sister. So she was telling me that her and her sister not coming to school or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so then I was like, what about another girl that usually hangs out with us? She's like, no, she's not coming either. We're all hanging out. Like, they were all like doing something or whatever. But I mean, I wasn't really jealous, but I was kind of annoyed because I'm like, y'all could have told me. I would have been less upset if they would have told me, because it's kind of like, just let me know, you know? But it wasn't necessarily weird because they were all like best friends from long time or whatever. So anyways, I was like, okay, cool. So I ended up leaving from our center to like our main corridor, like where like people usually, like, that's like the welcome center where people will walk in. That's where you would go to the counselor's office. There's like a big old space with like there's like a attraction in the middle of our like corridor that people come to see. Like, I ended up walking over, and there's some girls that I kind of hung out with, and I'm smiling because I have a story that goes with it. One of the girls, you know, like, I'm mad cool with, but then there's like the next one, like, me and her had big beef because like she was mad at me because she took my dude. Like, okay, and it was a situation where he was my dude, but you took my nigga. Like, why are you mad at me? Why are you making things weird because you took my nigga? But at this time it wasn't weird. But it's like, girl, I introduced you to him. Okay. So anyways, I ended up seeing them, and they used to talk to these two dudes that were there. The dudes are like brothers, but they, like, you wouldn't see them and assume they're brothers, but then when you see their mannerisms, you'd be like, oh, these dudes are brothers or whatever. They're really cool though, so like, no harm, no foul to them or whatever. And like, in this story, you'll see that they like kind of helped me out or whatever, but then they kind of didn't help me out. So anyways, I went and I hung out with them. And like, one dude, he was just like this dreadhead. He's kind of like my height, so he'd be like 5'8", and he was dark skinned. And then his brother was like light skinned with like a missing tooth or whatever. And like, he had like nice hair, but they were like, he was handsome. Like, there was nothing wrong with them or whatever. They were like really like weird though. You could tell like they're close brothers. They used to speak to each other sometimes, and they used to use sign language. So anyways, the girl that I was talking about that took my nigga and was made a whole weird thing about me taking her nigga, that like her taking my nigga, which was not really my nigga or whatever. She was there, and I usually hung out with her and her sister. And so I was there, and I went and decided to hang out with them, which is like when I was texting in our group chat and I was telling my friends, I was like, yeah, because y'all abandoned me, I had to hang out with the enemies. They weren't really enemies, but they kind of hung out with some kids that were like in the school before us. And at the time, which is so stupid, I literally had beef, quote unquote, with a girl who's still to my day a good friend. I was having beef with her because because her and one of the sisters, I hope this is not confusing, one of the sisters that was supposed to be at the school today, that was my friend but wasn't, it was dating her best friend, and like they made this whole drama that they had going on. Whatever, I'll get into that later too. So me and the girl weren't really like friends like that, so those were kind of her friends. So I like, they could tell like I was just coming over. It was so weird. I know they could tell I was just coming over because I ain't had nobody to talk to, but it is what it is or whatever. So they're like, oh hey Tosh, what's up or whatever. I'm like, nothing. I'm like, how are y'all? And they're like, oh, we're cool. And we were just talking about like, you know, classes or whatever. And so the girl, her brother came over, and he was like, he's this kid, he's this black guy. He kind of is like into anime or whatever. He's cool or whatever, but he came over smiling. He had the same class that I had. And he came with like a tourniquet. If you know what a tourniquet is, it's like if somebody got a wound and like it's actively bleeding, you put the tourniquet above the wound, like a couple inches above the wound, and you lock off their blood from going there. But it hurts. That shit like really hurts. But I mean, like, honestly, like if you just got like pew pew, you're not gonna really like feel like that. You're gonna more feel the pew pew wound. So it's like, that's why they put the tourniquet like above like any appendage or whatever. So anyways, he came over with it and that, and they're like, what's that? So the guy, let's call the dread-headed guy, chocolate and peanut butter, like a Reese's cup or whatever. So chocolate was like, he was like, oh, what's that? I wish I could say his name because it kind of fits like his personality. He was like, oh, what's that? And then so the dude's brother, the girl's brother was like, oh, it's a tourniquet. And he wanted to tell that whole spiel like what I just wanted to, and was telling him what a tourniquet was. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. And he's like, try it on me. So he got it, and he started wrapping it around him, like he tied it and then started wrapping it around him. And he was like screaming in the freaking welcome center. And y'all, this... The next thing that made it the day, he was there screaming, like literally screaming in the welcome center for bloody murder or whatever. And then like there's like a chair, they had like a couch set by the front door. Like I said, I was sitting in the single couch, and I look up and I see this lady, and she looked mad familiar. Tell me how it's a teacher that I had, an English honors teacher that I had from freaking high school. And I seen this lady, and y'all, for some reason, when I was in high school, this lady used to catch me in the weirdest predicaments, or like when I was like my angriest. So she sees me there like laughing, and like she was seeing my friends on the floor screaming. So it's like I'm there and I'm like laughing, but I'm like cackling. My friend's on the floor screaming for his life. She just walked into the welcome center. No, she was like, you can't take these niggas nowhere. They don't know how to act or whatever. Anyways, so they were like, after a while, because he was screaming a little bit too loud, we were like, hey, take it off. Which, y'all, he wasn't screaming for like 5 minutes. It was like probably like a couple seconds or whatever. But, you know, when somebody's hooting and hollering and it's like loud, you know, it's going to draw attention. So, anyways, this dude got up. When he stood up, y'all, he kind of like lost his balance a little bit because it kind of numb your legs or whatever. And this nigga fell, and like the whole time my teacher's just standing there. So I just got up and I started talking to her, and I was like, hey. And she's like, hey. And I'm like, how are you? And she's like, Tosh, you're still giving trouble. Well, she didn't call me Tosh. She called me my government name, because at that time I wasn't using my nickname, but now I am. And so she's like, Tosh, you are still giving trouble. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, it's not me. But anyways, so there was that or whatever. So we were there sitting down. Nothing major happened. And they were talking about getting food. But the two dudes, the one that had the tourniquet on him, and then his brother was like, all right, yeah, we're going to have to wrap it up for today. We're going to go home. And I was like, my dad used to bring me to and from school, but like, I don't remember what he was doing, but like, he was just busy that day, and I didn't really want to bother him. So I was like, hey, I was like, Reese's Pieces, because, you know, chocolate and peanut butter. I was like, Reese's Pieces, could y'all take me home? And they were like, yeah, come on, girl, come on. Of course we can take you home. So, we ended up going to their car, and they started taking me to school, and they're like, hey, we finna roll up. If you don't roll up, they're gonna be, reaching for the stars, and shooting for the moon. So that's what they were doing, and then they started breathing in and out with something in their mouth. And so when they were doing that, they were like, we like to hotbox, and so they pretty much like locked up the windows, and they're doing this little hotboxing thing or whatever. And so like I said, it's a short ride to my house or whatever, and they ended up taking me home, which I know y'all are wondering, oh, didn't you drive to school? I did drive to school, but like my dad actually did come and use the car that day, so that's why. Like, he came to the school and took my car, but he's like, just drive to school and then I'll come back and pick you up or whatever. So he ended up using my car because his van was giving an issue, so that's why I didn't have my car. Just thought I should explain that for those who's gonna be confused. So anyways, we like pretty much reached my house, and I was like, okay, cool. I saw my car in the driveway, so I know my dad was home. Told them thank you. They were like, yeah, no problem. They were laughing. Oh, we were actually talking about family reunion, because to this day, they still are supposed to take me to their family reunion, because they say their family reunion be lit and their mac and cheese be good, and they be having baked beans with turkey not roasted, freaking smoked turkey in it, and be tasting good. They still didn't take me. Anyways, so I ended up getting home. There, I said thank you, and I left, and I went inside. Y'all, when I came out of the car, I knew I smelled loud. Anyways, I was like, okay, maybe my dad won't be in his office or whatever. His office, and go to the garage and take off these clothes. The only problem was, y'all, I had in hair just like this. I had in like weave hair or whatever, and so it was like stuck in my hair, everything. Walked past my dad, and I like seen him like look up at me, but my dad has an amazing poker face, so he just looked at me, but then he looked down, he didn't say nothing. I went, I bathed, I changed, and I came back out. I took out my hair. I washed my hair, y'all. I'm so dramatic. Took out my hair, washed my hair, and this is the last part of the day. Well, no, this is the second to last part of the day that made it like the worst day. So I walked back into my dad's office, and I was like, hey, or whatever. I said hey earlier, but I was like, what's up? And he was like, I could smell the stuff on you as soon as you came inside the front door. And I was like cutting him off, and I'm like, no, I don't do that. Like, he's like, it doesn't matter. He's like, if the police come and pull you over, then how you gonna explain to them that that you don't do that? You would have got arrested, and whoever you came with would have got arrested, or whatever, blah blah blah. And you don't think, and you're always doing stupid stuff, blah blah blah. And y'all, it just made me feel so bad, because I just felt like a little kid again. And like, if you see me I'm looking in the mirror to see if my phone's still recording. It just made me feel so bad, because it's like, not that it made me feel like a kid again, but I just don't like getting scolded. Anytime I get scolded, I'm such a crybaby. If someone like yells at me or talks to me a little bit too hard, I want to start crying. My eyes start getting red, my throat start closing up. Like, I just hate it. And so like, he just did that, and like he's like, I can't say anything to you. You're an adult. You're a big woman. So if that's the life that you're gonna lead, then I can't say nothing to you. But just know that I smelled you as soon as you came in the house. Y'all, I felt so bad. I was gonna get a snack. I didn't even want the snack no more. I said, fuck that cereal. I literally went to my room and laid in my bed. This bed right here. Laid in this bed. And like, I just started crying, and I was bawling my eyes out, y'all. I felt bad, because I'm like, damn, I'm still like just constantly disappointing my parents, and like, nobody wants to feel like a disappointment to their parents. And like, at that time, y'all, they're just exhausted with me. Like, it was just always something with me. So like, every time it's like, oh, she's doing good, she's doing good, she's doing good, and it's something, I do something, it always draws me back. I don't know, I just always feel like I'm disappointing somebody in life. So it's just like, bruh, or whatever. So anyways, I'm there laying in bed. I just got done crying a little bit, because like I said, I'm a little crybaby. Crybaby, moonshine darling, take off your clothes and go to your bed. And so I was there crying, and I stopped a little bit, and fell asleep, and I woke up. And so anyways, like I said, I was in the bed crying, and I was there. And then around 8 o'clock, like, that's when I woke up around 6 o'clock or whatever. Went, ate dinner with my family. My dad didn't mention it to my mom. She probably would have crashed out. And then after that, I did the dishes and came back in my room. And the way my like routine would go, I'd like eat dinner, come in my room. My parents would be out there for like a little while, then they'll go and lie down in their bed and go to sleep. So I'm there, and I'm chilling, and it's like 8:30 or whatever. My parents are already in their room. They used to retire early. Now they stay up all night long, okay? All night long. Okay, I'm off key. They used to stay up all night long. And so they were there and they were chilling. What am I talking about? So anyways, I was here and I was chilling, and then I got a text on my phone. It was from old dude earlier, the one that I told you wrote, Knight Rider. So Knight Rider messaged me and he was like, link, and I was like, no, he messaged me and he was like, man, he's like, I'm not even much finna pretend link with you. He's like, you always doing shit like the way you did me last night, like I can't, that's unforgivable. You wasted my time. I had came out or whatever, wasted my gas. You live literally a hop, skip, and a jump away. You wasted my gas, and you keep playing with a nigga, blah blah blah. You're not serious. You be acting like a kid still, and we're way past those days where you should be acting like a kid. Whatever. I'm here ignoring him, and I was like just texting him because this was a thing that he did when he knew that he wanted to go link up with another one of his girls. He would like start an argument with me, and then like I would just be like, okay, whatever, I don't want to talk to you, and then he would go link with the girls or whatever. But he already had me messed up from the night before, so it was like, I don't want to link with you regardless, so just do what you're doing. And he was like, call me. So I wasn't gonna call him, so then he called me, and he was like, are you mad? You mad? He's like, yeah, you the one that be causing rifts between us, and then you're mad that I don't want to link with you. Like a dude can't keep settling for he's like, a dude can't keep settling for childish shit or whatever. And I was like, there's nothing childish. I was like, I was like, Knight Rider, if you have someone else to go see, just go see them. Nah, now you trying to push me away. You don't never want to solve our problems. I was like, Knight Rider, if you want to come, then come. No, I'm not gonna come. I'm not gonna come because you're just gonna mistreat me, blah blah blah. And like, y'all, at this point I just was so annoyed, and that was like the last thing that happened that just really pissed me off with him. I was at my wit's end because it's like, bro, like I had an awful day. I literally, from the night before you pissed me off, got in my car, dude almost crashed into me, got to school, failed my freaking test, went to go hang out with my friends. Their bitch asses didn't want to show up. Went and hung out with some fake friends. I went and hung out with some fake friends, and they was there screaming and acting a damn fool. I saw my teacher, who was just looking at me like I was a ghetto bitch. And then by the time I actually got home out of the weed mobile, out of the green mobile, my dad was disappointed in me. And then I come here and I gotta listen to you tell me all these things and try to start a fake argument just so you could go hang out with another bitch. Just go, like, just go, bro. I don't care. And I told him that. I told him all the time, I'm like, bro, I don't care if you're gonna go, just go. Or and I was just like, I was yelling all this shit at him, and he was just like, so you finna come outside or not? I'm like, I'm not coming outside, Knight Rider. He was like, all right, whatever, cool. I'll go link with somebody else. And y'all, like, when I said the history go deep with Knight Rider, like, I literally even, like, there was a point when Knight Rider started bringing one of his girls to the house, my house, and like, he used to bring one of his partners to come hang out with me, and my nigga brought one of his friends to come hang out with me, and I ended up like doing things with the nigga, and like that dude like was just the love of my life. I swear to this day. And like, y'all, if you saw us in the hallway, you would think me and that dude hate each other. And like, it was all because of how the situation was going, and Knight Rider introduced me to like one of to this day, I be thinking about that boy. But anyways, like, that's pretty much the end of the story. And y'all, I just had to say, like, really quickly before my phone overheat again, like, you're gonna have bad days. That's just literally a part of life. I don't care if you're in elementary, middle school, high school, college, like adulthood, you're gonna have bad days, but you gotta live through the bad days long enough to get to the good days where you can like look back and laugh at that shit. Because I swear, every time I think about that day, I get a slight headache. And like, I was there watching one of my favorite YouTube channels, and she was just talking about all these bad things that kept happening. I'm like, yo, I gotta tell this story because this is literally like my worst day ever, because like the way bare bad things was happening to me. And when she said she got in like a car crash, that like reminded me of like how the dude almost crashed into me on that day. So yeah, that's the end of the story. Please subscribe and like and comment and share. If you have like, you know, like a roach in your house, share it with the roach. He'll share it with his little roach family. Just share. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my video, especially if you watched it all the way to the end. Yeah, thank you for watching my video, and that's all.